Welcome, everyone, to the monthly live stream. I'm GitLab CEO and co-founder, Sid Sijbrandij. And Francis, thanks for the first question. You want to verbalize?
Absolutely. Hi, Sid. Thank you. This is general, not just GitLab, but sort of in the industry at large. What advice would you give to software engineers with experience in software engineering or kind of seeing the AI revolution happening around them and going, I want to play in that. I want to participate in that, but not sure how to get started. What advice would you give for kind of step one, two, three for software engineers moving into the AI world?
Yeah, thanks for that. If you work at GitLab, even if you don't work at GitLab, like use our Duo products. Like you can chat, it helps with writing code, all the other things. And if you work at GitLab, use our channels to give feedback. If you don't work at GitLab, also give feedback and maybe even submit code improvements. Um, it's kind of a whole science to just keep up to date with all the news. I just learned that the new NVIDIA model dropped, and the 70 billion model is kind of state of the art. So very exciting day for open source in AI. I use X and Hacker News to keep up to date with that. And maybe there's other people who have suggestions. Anyone who wants to chime in, feel free to just speak up. I know some people are at GitLab are doing courses, so they're using their educational credit to do courses about AI. I think Carnegie Mellon had a business-oriented course, I think someone was doing. There's also more engineering-oriented ones.
I
Anna,
can
yeah,
share.
go ahead.
Um, I have done a lot of like personal projects with AI, which I feel like has been a fun learning tool. Like I've done songs, I've done artwork, I do a bunch of like photo editing and stuff. And so it jumps me into like all these different tools and you learn really quickly what's possible and what the barriers are. And I don't know, it's kind of a fun way to learn a ton about it. And it's pretty incredible, all the things you can do. It's unbelievable.
Thanks, Ali.
I
Anybody,
want to,
anybody else?
sorry, I want to add to that. I usually open 100 Google tabs. And now that I force myself to use Duo Chat in the IDE or in the GitLab UI, I can solve my problems just without switching context. So recently I wanted to learn how to generate a random string, and I know it's OpenSSL something, but Duo Chat helps me answer that. And this kind of makes me explore new things. On the weekend, I hosted a session for a community meetup, and I used the prompt explain like I'm five, which is a fun way to also engage with learning AI and figure out what the underlying LLMs are capable of.
Anybody else? Thanks for that, Michael.
I've been able to get access to Duo workflow, and it's really been a game changer for me. Just to kind of open my eyes as to what exactly AI can do for us. It's really like from the perspective of like it can do anything, or like it can emulate anything that an engineer or a quality assurance person or a developer can do. And really, doing some experimentation, we were able to get it to translate CI/CD jobs from legacy CI tools to GitLab CI. Accuracy still waiting to be verified, but it's getting me to think about how some professional services offerings could be made way more efficient and way more cost effective, these kinds of things. So I would suggest just like get access to and experiment with.
Thanks, Brian. Omar? Omar, do you want to verbalize your comment? And then,
Oh yeah. I was just going to say I really appreciate Machine Learning Street Talk, which I watch on YouTube. It's for like deep philosophical and forward-looking perspectives on AI. He's interviewing all like the lead researchers from all the big shops, and it's really quite interesting and away from the hype.
Thanks for that suggestion. Dan, did you have a question for Ali?
Thanks, Sid. Yeah, I was just wondering if it was a specific course or plan that you were following, Ali, for the things that you mentioned, and if so, could you please share the link?
Yeah, no, it's not. And I think that's part of the process because I feel like what I've found is like every day there's something new out there. Um, and what I, when I kind of have been doing in my daily life is like, how could I use AI for this? And like one small example is it's like my 3-year-old's birthday and I made the invitations using AI. Like in the process, I learned so much. Like there was a new vendor that I could use that I wasn't using like last week. And so it's more just like personal things that come up and I'm like, oh, how could I be using AI? And like super fun things. You could be like, I have this in my fridge, send me 6 recipes. And I think ingraining it in that way then challenges you like, oh, how could I be better using this in my work life too? And it makes it, just kind of fun. But no, I'm just kind of I ask ChatGPT ironically a lot of times too on like the different vendors or use cases that are out there.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Sandra, do you want to comment?
I don't know if you guys caught Sharon and Liz Burrows' presentation. I think it was 2 weeks ago. But we are using Jasper AI across the content and I think PMM teams. But I know I'm using it just as kind of a starter. Like if I'm stuck on something, like key takeaways, let's say for something, I might run a blog through there and just kind of figure out the bullet points. I always have to rewrite them, but it gives you a starting point to think about things. So I think it can be helpful as a jump start, or if you have a question about something, just throw it in there and it can sometimes answer it, or at least get you thinking in the right direction. I don't think like as far as content goes, it's there for full content creation because it reuses a lot, it hallucinates sometimes, and it's not always on point. So you have to watch it. Like a high school teacher who, watches her kids sometimes not do the best with it. But I think it's great for giving you ideas and getting you going in a certain direction.
Hi, I'd like to echo what Sandy just said. We've been testing out Jasper. And while it's great at research, because it can check out many more sites at the same time than I can, with content creation, it's not there yet. It's helpful. It helps not looking at a blank page, but it makes too many things up. You have to really be cautious of what content it is creating for you.
Nikki?
Yeah, I just wanted to drill in one more thing to say that it's slightly different than like a chat GPT because we've trained it on our specific, you can train it on specific voices. So for Jasper, it's looking specifically, you can drill into our specific brand voice. So slightly different than dropping your prompt into just a general chat GPT.
Thanks for that. Ali, you want to verbalize the song a customer made? That is wild.
So Suno is like one of the tools I've used that I was kind of talking about, and it generates like AI songs, and you can do like very simple prompts. You can tell like, make it country, make it R&B, whatever. But my team recently closed a new logo, and they migrated from Bitbucket, and then they sent us this song that they made using Sono. So if you click on the link, you can see the lyrics and everything, and you can listen to it. But it's pretty hilarious. I will be sharing it with Lisa to see if there's opportunities for us to share more broadly.
That is amazing. And AI and songs is a really good combo. Recently, I had the pleasure to do AI karaoke, where you select kind of a common karaoke song, like Wonderwall from Oasis. But then you can select the data set you want to use for content. And I selected Paul Graham blog posts, but we also had like OkCupid profiles, Craigslist, art, car sales ads, like pharmaceutical side effects was a hilarious one. And then it selects the right lyrics to kind of keep with the rhythm of the song. It's quite hilarious. Hannah, you want to go to bring us to the second question?
Sure. So Sid, I was wondering if you have any pets, and I saw you link to your kitty, and I was wondering if you could tell us a little more about her personality.
Yeah, so we got our cat Susie. Here's some recent pictures. She is very human oriented. So she's a rescue. She got rescued from a hoarding situation, and then she was with someone who had two other cats, and the two other cats didn't like Susie. So she was on the top of a bookcase, just trying to keep out of their way. Now she kind of owns the house. There's also cat trees and scratch poles everywhere in our place. She's also very spoiled. I think a pivotal event in that was our offsite that we had recently with the e-group, where I encouraged everyone to give her treats, but now she's completely treat oriented. And Josh, our CISO, just fed her more treats this morning, so we're encouraging it. Josh, I hope your jeans are still okay. And she brings out her nails every now and then, but the jeans still looked okay after. And not a personality, but she's a Russian blue mix, which is what we were looking for because they're hypoallergenic. I'm allergic to cats, and I'm like 90% less allergic to her because she doesn't have the protein that most people are allergic to. So that's been great. And you also asked whether in the whether I grew up with any pets. We had guinea pigs when I was growing up. I'm very fond of them too.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing.
Thanks for asking. Will. Oh, Will can't vocalize. Jeannie?
Yes, it feels like we, myself included, still tend to be US centric in our perspective. So I'm wondering if there are any specific international markets for GitLab that are exciting or surprising as we work to break into them. I recently spoke to an EA in Italy who shared it feels much more like GitLab is a startup there than an established brand option.
Yeah, there's so much to say here that I almost don't know where to start. So I'd love for some other people to put their name in and give additional context. It's ironic in a certain sense that the GitLab, the company, especially with go-to-market, is quite US centric. And then kind of Europe and then Asia Pacific. But if you look at the usage of GitLab, it's almost the other way around. Tons of usage in Asia Pacific, really high, but slightly lower in Europe, and probably the lowest of anything in the US. Despite that, yeah, we're not an established, well-known brand everywhere as we kind of focus on new territories. It's important for our marketing and our sales to ramp up at the same time, together with our local support. But I think in tons of territories, we still have a long way to go and a lot of potential for more more widely known brand or for more revenue in the future. Anybody else who wants to chime in on internet how to view non-US markets?
I can chime in. It's when I look at the data and conversion rate, top of funnel between some of the regions, we see actually like a huge difference between some of the regions. And it just goes to show that there's no one size fits all policy for penetrating each region, and we have to treat each one as its own separate puzzle.
Thanks for that. That